Hey 6th graders, for our first video this school year, we are going to go over our vocabulary words that we need to use in our decimals unit. So here's what you have to have in order to be prepared for note-taking. You need to have your pencil, you need your math binder, and make sure you write neatly. You're going to use these notes for test study, if you just have to look back so you understand what's going on, that kind of thing. So you're going to want to be able to read these. For this particular unit, we have 6 vocabulary words. You'll probably need to press pause in between the words and their definitions just to make sure that you have enough time to get the definition written. This one is going to be kind of a little tedious, a little boring, and then with our next video we'll get into more of the mathy stuff. So our first vocabulary word is decimal. And I'm pretty sure all of you know what a decimal is. But the definition of a decimal is a number written in a system based on multiples of 10 that use a decimal point to show a value, value smaller than 1. So there's your definition of a decimal. Make sure you hit pause. Decimal is a number written in a system based on multiples of 10. And you use a decimal point to show a value smaller than 1. Let me take out that. I like that better. There we go. All right. And you're not allowed to judge me based on my typing because my typing is not super awesome. All right. A fact or a characteristic of a decimal, and make sure you get all of this in your notes. A benchmark decimal is the common decimal, the one that we're used to seeing all the time. It's used to estimate the value of other decimals. Examples of a decimal would just be all kinds of different numbers, something like 1100ths or 1 and 7,523 10,000ths. Oh goodness, what would be another good one? Oh, let's go with 3 10,000ths, because that would be tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. All right, and make sure you get all of that written in your notes. A non-example, and you're going to need all of this for tomorrow, so trust me, this isn't just a bunch of crazy talk. For a non-example, that would be something written like a fraction, like 1/2 or 3/4. Those are fractions. Those are definitely not decimals. Our next vocabulary word that you need to get in your notes is terminating decimal. What the heck is that? It is a decimal that does not go on forever. You'll see the difference here soon. A terminating decimal ends at some point. Remember to hit pause so that you can get all of this information in your notes. A fact or characteristic of a terminating decimal is that it's the opposite of a repeating decimal. You want that in your notes. You're going to need it for class tomorrow. An example to get in your notes could be something such as 1.4, 1 4/10 is a terminating decimal because it ends. It does not go on for forever. A non-example of a terminating decimal could be something like, 0.333333, and it goes on for forever. The 3 is repeated infinitely. So make sure you get that in your notes as a non-example. Our next vocabulary word is repeating decimal. This needs to be in your notes. It is a decimal that goes on for forever. never ending. A characteristic of this would be that it's the opposite of a terminating decimal. Terminating decimals obviously end, and when it comes to repeating decimals, they just keep right on going for forever and ever and ever until you decide to stop. And hopefully at some point you do decide to stop. So a repeating decimal, we'll just use the example from the last vocab word, would be something like 0.333333 going on for forever. A non-example would be, I don't know, 0.54 hundredths. That one ends. It does not continue to go on for forever. Our next vocabulary word is dividend. And just a reminder, make sure you're hitting pause so that you can get all of this in your notes. And I'm sure that you've heard of dividends already, seeing how you guys already know how to divide. The dividend is the number or decimal, that is being divided into groups. I have two facts, or two little characteristics of the dividend. It's always the number inside the long division problem. It is also the top number or numerator, of a fraction. Okay? I mean, an example of a dividend would be something like, let's see here. All right, it would be something that would be like, what's that thing doing? Come back up here and click on my pen, see if that helps. All right. All right, so in a long division problem, let's say we have 24 divided by 8. 24 would be the dividend. If it's set up like this, 24 divided by 8, 24 is still your dividend. So make sure you include that example in your notes. If the number is on the outside of the long division, that would be an example, or that would be a non-example. So if you had something like 60, darn it. Good grief, seriously. They won't all be this bad, I promise. All right, so if you have something like 64 divided by 4 equals 16, 4 would not be your dividend. That would be a non-example. All right, our fifth vocabulary word, we just have 2 more to go, so we're almost there. Our fifth vocabulary word is divisor. Its definition is the number or decimal that divides the dividend. All right, a couple of divisor facts, a couple of characteristics that you need to get in your notes. It's the outside number in long division. Also, it's the denominator of a fraction. Oh my gosh. A fraction. You'll need those in your notes because you'll need them for what we're doing in class tomorrow. And so make sure you include these examples in your notes because you'll get your examples and your non-examples. So if you have something like 36 divided by 4 equals 9, your divisor is going to be the 4. 36, we already know that 36 is the dividend. And if we set it up, in that long division style, 36 divided by 4, we know from up here that it'll be the outside number in long division. So there's your dividend. A couple examples right there. Now, for a non-example, oh, let's say we still use the same 36 divided by 4 equals 9. 9 would be a non-example because it is not a part, or it's not the divisor. Simple as that. So, we have our dividends, which is, there you go, and then our divisor, and our last vocabulary word has to do with the answer. What in the world do we call the answer to a division problem? All right, here's our last vocab word. Still make sure you get it in your notes. We might be almost to the end, so don't stop taking notes now. Your last word is, or vocab word is quotient. And very simply, the quotient is an answer to a, well, or solution, depends on what you're reading, to a division problem. See, there you go. Boom. All right. Quotient is one of those 3 fancy words that we use in division. We've already covered our dividend, the divisor, and now the quotient, the answer. So here are a couple examples of quotients, because they can go in a couple of different places. If you have 56 divided by 7 equals 8, 8 is your answer. It's going to be your quotient. If you set up your division problem long division style, if you have 56 divided by 7, you'd put the 8 or the quotient up here at the top. All right. Let's see, a non-example. Whoa, where does it think it's going? Anywho, we're going to add the non-example up here and just go out of order. But a non-example of a quotient would be something like 56 divided by 7 equals 8, and thinking one of these would be the quotient. Non-example, they're definitely not the quotient or the answer. So, 6th grade, here's what you need to do. When you come back to class tomorrow, make sure you bring your math binder with all of your notes. You'll need them for our activity, and you're also going to need them so I can walk around the room and make sure that you did your homework last night. So, I'll see y'all in class.